And we've got Charlie Kimball and Graham Rahal with us right here in Las Vegas. A couple days before the big event. Hot as can be out here, I must say. How are you guys doing with this heat? Graham, how about you?
Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, the heat isn't much of a problem. In fact, it's nice for us coming off of Kentucky there a couple weeks ago where, you know, it was like 50 degrees at maximum. So to be here feels really good, and, you know, I think we're all looking forward to it. It's a great facility. Really nice track, and I think it's going to produce some really close racing.
And obviously, standing out here, the heat's an issue. But I mean, when you're in the car, does it matter that much?
You get a little breeze, but not as much as you think. You know, honestly, it's you know, people think it's open cockpit, so you ought to get a lot of air. But you know, the cars are designed so the air flows over the driver, so you actually don't get that much. So, you know, certainly if it's a really hot day, yeah, you know, it'll get to you. But I think that, you know, if we see mid-80s like they're forecasting, maybe up into the low 90s, it'll be fine.
Okay, and Charlie, I want to ask you about your illness.
Yeah.
You're a type 1 diabetic. Obviously, your sponsor helping you out with that. Do you get tired of people asking you about it all the time?
You know, I don't. Having diabetes is something that's as much part of my life as going to bed at night and waking up in the morning. You know, every time I sit down for a meal, it's there with me, and you know, so's the insulins I use to manage my blood sugars, the Levemir and Novolog that I run on the race car. So I always find it's a great opportunity to educate people about diabetes and about racing and IndyCar racing.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. As far as Las Vegas is concerned and this track, Graham, we can get you in for this as well. It's a lot smoother than what we saw in Kentucky, and yet in Kentucky we had three wide driving going there. I mean, I would think we see at least that here.
Yeah, well, although it's interesting, you know, because if you actually look at the wheel loads, it's fairly bumpy here, particularly turn 1 and 2. But I think the thing is that the track grip is just so much higher. Because you can see that, you know, guys will run way up on the high line and there's dust flying everywhere, but the car's not moving. You know, I mean, there's grip. So I think that's why you can see 3 wide racing times, you know, 10 rows deep. I really do think it's going to be an insane race, and you know, reminds me a lot of the races we used to do at Chicago. You know, the last couple of years where it's just intense from the minute the flag drops. So you know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and certainly a really good show for the fans.
Very good, thank you. And Charlie, I wanted to ask you a little off topic. I know your dad was an F1 designer. I mean, is there, I mean, we're all about Indy right now, but is there possibly F1 in your future?
Well, what a lot of people don't know is he helped design Indy cars as well. He won the Indy 500 in 1980, 1982. So, you know, there's a good mix of both European open wheeled and U.S. IndyCar racing. So, you know, if it's Indy cars or Formula One, you know, wherever I can do what I love and continue to make an impact on the diabetes community, that's my dream come true.
All right, don't drift off there, Graham. Okay, real quick question. I got to ask you guys, Danica Patrick has been huge for IndyCar. She is leaving, but it seems like she's leaving at a decent time. There's so many young drivers, guys with big names like yourself. I mean, it seems like IndyCar is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts us. You know, it's going to be a different period of time. But IndyCar existed before Danica, and it's going to exist after. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I think, you know, there's a lot more talent in the series, you know, than just her. And I wish her the best. I do. And I've known Danica a long time. You got to remember, my dad's the one who paid to get Danica started. So, you know, I've known her for, God, I think since she was 17, 18 years old. So it's been a while, but and I wish her the best. But I think IndyCar racing is looking good right now. And, you know, the buzz around this event, I mean, I was pulling in here today, and to see the amount of cars that were parked out there, you know, 2.5 hours before we even run today is pretty good. So certainly really looking forward to it.
And Graham touched on it, and I think it's you can't understate or overstate how much momentum the IndyCar series is building. You know, especially coming off the 100th anniversary of the Indianapolis 500, you know, our Super Bowl in essence. As we grow as a series, you know, we'll become bigger than any just one driver, and I think that's where we're headed with, you know, the young talent, the young drivers, the existing teams, and, you know, the reigning champions like Dario Franchitti, Scott Dixon, Will Power, Tony Kanaan, those guys, as they evolve out of the sport, it's going to be the young guys that come in and continue to grow this industry.
All right, well, these are two of the young guys, Charlie Kimball, Graham Rahal. Good luck out there, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.